seat, folks. I'm going to do this pretty quickly just before. Hey, Andrew. Hey. Nice to see you, man. There, right? Hey, look.
Nice to see you.
There. Come on. You guys come in here. I'm going to stand over there with Matt. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh. Okay, great. Well, thanks everyone for coming to Jammin Crepes today. Thanks everyone for coming to Jammin Crepes today, and welcome to the governor. We're really excited to be part of this signing. I can't tell you how much the previous grant helped us out. As you can see, if you look around our space, we used it constructively for a lot of upgrades, and we are really, really appreciative of the state's efforts, of our community members' efforts, and truly if it wasn't for this combined effort, it would have been a bigger challenge to keep our doors open. So we really want to thank you all for being here and supporting the small businesses. That's it.
Thank you so much. I would know, is this on, Daryl? Okay. I would normally take my my mask off, but I think that's probably not the right thing to do, given we're all on top of each other. So, good morning, everybody. It is a treat to be able to start the week on one of New Jersey's quintessential and most historic downtown streets, Nassau Street, right here in Princeton. To Mayor and old friend Mark Frieda, thank you for the warm welcome to Princeton. As you know, I'm a part-time Princetonian, as I occasionally hang my hat down the road. Kathy Klockenbrink, thank you so much for your gracious words. To you and Kim and Amin and the entire team at Jammin Crepes, thank you for allowing us to commandeer your place for a little while. You've got an extraordinary spot here. It's got a great reputation. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm honored as well to be joined by the Executive Director of the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, Tim Sullivan, Assemblyman Andrew Zwicker, Senator Linda Greenstein, County Executive Brian Hughes, and last and certainly not least, East Windsor Mayor and Democratic Chair Janice Mironoff. Thrilled to be with you all. So in a couple of minutes, I'm going to sign into law a commitment to provide an additional $15 million in much-needed direct financial supports for our small business community. Folks like Kim, Amin, and Kathy and their fellow small business owners, not just here in Princeton, but up and down our state. And because of the hard work of our congressional delegation, New Jersey's been able to put hundreds of millions of dollars directly into the downtown small businesses and community nonprofits that make towns like Princeton such a point of pride for our state. And in absentia, in that regard, I want to give a huge shout out to your Congresswoman, Bonnie Watson-Coleman, for her tremendous advocacy in our nation's capital. And thanks to the sponsorship of Andrew, and whose strong leadership within and representation of the Princeton community in the legislature has been invaluable, along with Linda's leadership and their colleagues, notably, and I'll mention by name, Senator Joe Lagana and Assembly Members Sterling Stanley and Joanne Downey. This commitment will be carried through not just from the feds, but through into state law. And the efforts of Tim and his team at the EDA to protect and preserve our small businesses cannot be overstated. Over the past year, the EDA has approved roughly 55,000 applications representing over $250 million in funding. The impact can be seen up and down our streets throughout the thousands of small businesses whose doors remain open and the countless community-based nonprofits whose core missions remain fulfilled. The law that I'm about to sign in a few minutes is purely additive to these efforts and will ensure that we can do more for more. Now, I know we're all anxious for the end of the pandemic, and through our aggressive vaccination program, all New Jerseyans age 16 and up will be eligible 1 week from today, as well as the efforts of millions of residents who continue to do the right things for their families and communities. I know we'll get there. But importantly, we'll get there as one family. We'll get there with our downtowns ready for the future we know we will achieve, a future with a strong, fair, and resilient economy, a future with our small businesses leading the way in job creation and economic growth. Nassau Street is the economic heart that beats in downtown Princeton. And though they are known by many names, Main Street, Union Street, South Street, Broad Street, among so many others, even a highway number here and there, nearly every one of our municipalities has a similar heart. They are the places where small businesses are born and where towns become communities. And through our actions today, we are ensuring that those heartbeats remain strong, and with them, our communities. So it is an incredible honor to be here. As the weather warms and I hope gets drier, I encourage everyone to get out and support the small businesses in your neighborhood, the places like this place right here, Jammin Crepes. And as you do, you'll be supporting them, and we'll be right beside you supporting them as well. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce the prime sponsor of this legislation, a champion for Nassau Street and many streets in his district and all of New Jersey's small businesses, Assemblyman Andrew Zwicker.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Governor. Really appreciate being here. Senator Greenstein, Mayor Frieda, Kim, Kathy, Amin. I know that Jammin Crepes is closed today, but really appreciate you being here. My only disappointment whatsoever is I was planning on breakfast right afterwards. For those of you who don't know, this is really one of the most wonderful stores, wonderful places to get food here on Nassau Street. It is part of the fabric of the community. It is what all small businesses are, which is the very essence of why we want to live in the towns that we live in, why we want to raise our families in the towns that we are doing so. A place like Jammin Crepes is a place that brings together people every single day. So to be able to do something to ensure during an unprecedented health crisis and an unprecedented economic crisis that has followed it, to make sure that we can infuse money into these businesses is really, really critical. And the last point I want to make is the money that we infuse into small businesses like this stays in the community. Study after study finds that about for every dollar that you spend on a small business, 70 cents stays in the community. And the three owners here are a perfect example of that. The fact that they buy and source their products, their ingredients locally, that they give to nonprofits, they give back into the community, and they hire locally is really what it is. That is why we have to support our small businesses here in New Jersey. And the last thing I'll say, and people don't think about this as well, is that a small business has a small carbon footprint typically because they source everything locally. So they're good for the community, they're good for the environment. Thrilled to be a part of this, thrilled that we can be here today with the governor for all of your leadership, governor signing this. Really happy to move past this so we can get back to our normal life, but this is an important step, so thank you, everybody.
Well said. I love the carbon footprint point as well, which we don't talk enough about. With that, it takes a village. Both chambers of the legislature. We need great county leadership, great mayors here representing the Senate. Please help me welcome Senator Linda Greenstein.
Thank you.
Hello, Senator.
Great to see you. Great to see you. I do want to thank the folks who are here today. I want to thank the governor for being willing to sign this. I want to thank my colleague Andrew Zwicker. I want to thank Tim Sullivan, and of course our local leadership, Brian Hughes, Janice Mironov, and all the great work that they do, because it really does take a village on this sort of thing. There are many bills right now that are attempting to put whatever federal money we get into the right places. And I'm really proud to be a sponsor on this particular bill, because since the beginning of the pandemic, we have pushed for small businesses in every way we can. We've done, they've had tremendous problems, but we've done whatever we can to help. And I think this bill is going to help. And as the governor said, we're going to keep building with all different kinds of legislation to try to see what we can do. But the great thing is this is a grant program. Businesses will be able to avail themselves of it pretty quickly, and it will make all the difference, I think, in helping them to stay alive. So we'll do whatever we can, but this bill is a wonderful way to do it. So thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. You make 2 points that are worth underscoring. Number one, this is grant money, Tim, so this money goes one way. There's no round trip on this money, folks, and that's a game changer. And secondly, not a lot of other states are doing it the way we're doing it. I think we should all be proud about the fact that we're doing it collaboratively, not just taking the federal money and unilaterally figuring out where to put it, but working with legislators around the state. And I think that's the right way to go, and I think we're setting an example there. With that, last but not least, let's bring up the Chief Executive Officer of the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, Tim Sullivan.
Thank you, Governor. I'll be brief so we can get to the important thing, which is signing this bill so we can get to work on deploying the money. Three quick things. One, thank you, Governor. Thank you, Senator Sullivan, and the federal delegation for allocating this kind of funding to support small business, as the Governor said, and has recognized from the very beginning, this is first and foremost a public health crisis, but right behind it, it's an economic crisis, and it's one that is disproportionately affecting small businesses and disproportionately affecting businesses owned by women and people of color. Governor mentioned some of the statistics, but since our programs have been running, and since with the funding that the Governor has been able to allocate for these programs, more than 11,000 minority-owned businesses, more than 11,000 women-owned businesses have been able to participate in our grant programs. That's a good start. We have a lot of work to do to continue to focus on the equity dimensions of this, and we will continue to do that in the programs that we're administering under these new bills. The second thing I'll mention is urgency and timing. This is, as we said, an economic crisis that is coming to an end, but still very, very real for small businesses in particular. There's an EDA board meeting on Wednesday that'll take up and hopefully approve all the details of this bill and several other bills the Governor signed recently. And then the process for applications will kick off the second part of this month. So we're not going to let any grass grow on our feet on this one. This is going to get out the door prudently and judiciously, but expeditiously and with some pace as well, because businesses can't wait and help is here, as the Governor's been saying. And so with that, I'll hand it back to the Governor to do the important work here.
That's the deal. Thank you, man. I want to thank again Kathy, Kim, and Amin for hosting us so graciously. And all of us, I can speak on behalf of all of us, we're looking forward to coming back when you're open and really tearing into some really good food. And you are an institution, and thank you for hosting us. I want to acknowledge again the elected officials, in addition to Tim Sullivan, my colleague in government. But it's a notable point here that we work best when we work together at all levels of government. Two outstanding mayors, Janice Mironoff of East Windsor, our host mayor, Mark Frieda of Princeton, County Executive Brian Hughes, and representatives from both chambers of the legislature, Andrew Zwicker and Linda Greenstein. I mean, that says it all, that we're all in this together, and that's when we do our best work and we get our best results. I'm going to sign this. We're going to, Dante is going to join me, and we're going to make sure that the pens are hygienically addressed after I sign. And then for the members of the press, we're going to do the gaggle outside in the interest of public health. Does that sound okay to everybody? All right, here we go. I'm going to do one money shot without a mask, and then I'll put it right back on. Okay, enough of that. Back to good health. This is Assembly Bill 5446. Again, the names at the top are the names that I've already referenced in the Assembly: Andrew Zwicker, Sterling Stanley, Joanne Downey. In the Senate, Linda Greenstein and Joe Lagana, and many other co-sponsors. Synopsis: makes $15 million in federal funds available to the Economic Development Authority to support businesses and nonprofits in need. In fact, I should have said this, but it is one, I think, Tim, of 5 bills, Darryl, that we are signing over a period of 3 weeks that will total $100 million in money that will go directly into small businesses, restaurants, hospitality, bars, wineries, etc., breweries. Okay. With that, Kathy, I think we have to come back here with 2 more pens, because I got your name on this one, but I feel like both Kim and I deserve one as well. Kathy, clap it. You gonna deliver the goods? Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Don't get these confused. Assemblyman Andrew Zwicker. Senator Linda Greenstein. There we go. CEO of the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, Tim Sullivan. And one, I think this is his first official, these are Phil Murphy official pens. This is his first one, I think. He's not here, but I promised him would send it one his way. Assemblyman Sterling Stanley. With that, keep my eyeglasses on here. This is now the law of the land.